Hello. Might have to pause this soon because the washing machine's going. But you can hear this CD. It's right now. It's sunset. It's what 8:30 p.m. in the summertime, so the sun goes down very late, and so there's this kind of you may kind of see this orange hue coming from behind me. Um, Blondie, Atomic. Can't really see that. It says the very best of, and there you have the members of Blondie. So the reason I picked this out is because there's actually a reason behind it. So today, my wife and my son, well, right now they're on an airplane, 35,000 feet in the air, on their way to my wife's home country and the birthplace of my son, because they're going there for about 4 weeks, 3.5, 4 weeks to visit family. And unfortunately, I can't go with them because I've got work and I can't get that much time off, and probably it's a little bit expensive to buy 3 tickets as opposed to two, and so I'm not with them. And I had to say goodbye to them at the airport. Now, I know some people that might sound like a good thing, kind of having some time to myself, but I already do miss my family a lot, especially my son. I miss my wife as well, but it's different because she's, an adult, I guess. And she can look after herself, whereas my son, I have kind of like a certain level of anxiety of not being with him, so that if I can't solve a problem that arises. Um, so yeah, but apart from that, I spend a lot of time, especially over the last 2 weeks on my holiday, my work break. Um, Me and my son have been kind of together every day, all day. It's kind of been my shadow, and so I guess that kind of intensifies the missingness. So yeah, like don't get me wrong, and some of it will be kind of nice to have, 3.5 weeks to myself, quiet, do things I want to do. I haven't been able to do for a long time. Catch up on some reading and some guitar and other things. But the house feels very quiet and empty without them here. And yeah, as much as I am kind of a bit of a natural loner, kind of my default setting is kind of solitude in some ways, not totally, but to a certain extent. As much as that is true, having the balance of my family in my life is something I need. Like I find it kind of keeps me healthy mentally, definitely, and even physically. Kind of, I don't know. It's hard to describe, but I've noticed that over the last 5 years that it's kind of having, especially a kid, has given me equilibrium, whereas I didn't used to have that in certain aspects of my life. What's this got to do with Blondie? Well, not much actually, but my son likes Blondie. Well, actually, he likes one song of Blondie. He likes a song "Hanging on the Telephone." He's kind of got a list of about 10 songs that I've played or he's heard on the radio that he kind of asks for it again and again. So one of them is Blondie hanging on the telephone. The other one is Burning Down the House by Talking Heads. One of them is, maybe I've talked about this before. One of them is Shock the Monkey by Peter Gabriel. What else does he like? Just recently, when we were driving, he heard We Built This City. We Built This City with Rock and Roll by, who's that, by Starship, I think. Um, and then the days after that, I heard him singing it to himself lots of times around the house, just he'd heard it once on the radio. I thought that was quite funny. So obviously that song stuck in his head. Oh, Hanging on the Rope, on a Rope by Rocket from the Crypt. Is it called Hanging on a Rope or just On a Rope? I think it's On a Rope. On a Rope, On a Rope. Um, and a few other bits and pieces. He likes a Tom York song, Suspirium, that song he did solo. He liked that since he was a baby. Anyway, so I kind of quickly looked through, and the CD that caught my eye is Blondie, because when I see Blondie, I think of him. And on his 5th birthday, because maybe it's the same in other countries, I don't know, but in New Zealand, your 5th birthday is kind of, for a kid, is a big deal, because you start school, primary school, or what I guess elementary school, on your 5th birthday, and so it's kind of the first big party of your life. And at his birthday party, we played party games like Pass the Parcel and what's the one, Musical Chairs, and the soundtrack we used for those games was Blondie. So I like Blondie. They're okay. I haven't listened to them extensively, and this is the greatest hits collection. I got this for, I'd say, $1.50. I can't remember exactly when or where I bought this. I do know it's secondhand, and I do know it wouldn't have been more than $1. But yeah, if we look at the book, it's not much on. There's some liner notes written by Andy Davis. Don't know who he is. There's the track listing with who it's written by. See, most of the songs are written by, I think all the songs are written by Debbie Harry and Chris Stein, except for Atomic, which is Debbie Harry, or Deborah Harry as it says here, and Jimmy Distree. There's a few other more people from the band, but I actually don't know anyone else's name in the band apart from Debbie Harry and Chris Stein. I think they were in a relationship for a while, weren't they? Debbie Harry and Chris Stein. Which one is Chris Stein? Is it him? I think I know him with grey hair. No. I always thought Blondie was a solo act, and they were a backing band, and she was Blondie, but I don't think that's true, is it? It's the band is Blondie and she's Debbie Harry. What songs are on it? Well, what you would expect to be on. Atomic. Why is that not? That's blurring. I don't know why suddenly it's gone blurry. There we go. Atomic, Heart of Glass. There's a good documentary on YouTube about the making of Heart of Glass, the recording process. Quite interesting. The tape loops and stuff they used. Sunday Girl, Call Me. The Tide is High. I fucking hate that song. Who did that song originally, The Tide is High? It's like some kind of 70s party pop, isn't it? It says it was a rock steady song. That's interesting. By John Holt from 1967. Performed by the Jamaican group The Paragons, with Holt as the lead singer. And it gained international attention when Blondie had a US and UK number one. Wow, okay. But yeah, I can't stand that song, either version. Dennis Dreaming, Rapture, Hanging on the Telephone, like I told you. And we've also got some 98 remixes, such as Atomic 98, Xenomania Mix, and Atomic 98, the Tall Pool Mix. Now, this doesn't have that later period Blondie stuff. It was around 1998 that they released that album where they did that, I think, Maria song. Maria. That might have been a cover as well. I didn't like that. Oh, sorry. So they released albums through the late 70s, 76, 2 and 78, 79, 80, 82. Then they had a break of almost 20 years, up to 99, No Exit. I would guess that would be the album which I'm thinking of that had that stupid song, Yes, Maria. It was a number one single in the UK. Fuck, the UK sometimes has awful taste. I shouldn't say every country has that. Why am I picking on the UK? That came out in 99. And this is from 98. So this collection is at 98. So maybe what happened there is this, and this often happens, is that they release this greatest hits collection and it does well, and they see the sales and they think, well, look, there's still a market out there for our band. Let's write something new and release it. And the following year in 99, they released the seventh album, No Exit, with hit single Maria. Um, and then since then, they've also, if someone asked me how many albums have Blondie released in the 21st century, I'd say, well, 0. But that's not true. They've released 4 albums: '03, 11, 14, and 2017. How old's Debbie Harry? Debbie Harry's got to be in her, 70s now? Let's have a look. 45, okay, 78. Geez, she's basically a year and a half younger than my dad. That means she would have been, and they're in their prime, 45, 60, 40, 55, 65, 75. She would have been over 30 in the prime of Blondie. Tide is High was released in 1980, and she would have been 35, which is kind of, for a female musician, that's kind of old, isn't it? For a lot of female, of course, there are. I'm going to get myself wound into bloody knots trying to explain what I'm saying here. But of course, there are female artists who produce music throughout their whole lives and critically acclaimed, such as Kate Bush and PJ Harvey and many others. But when I think of kind of the top of the charts type musicians, it's usually it's not even just a woman, it's a young person's game, isn't it? But for her to kind of find fame beyond 30 is kind of quite unique and unusual, isn't it? So yeah, I know that is not really much in this video in the way of analysis or anything. I think Blondie are okay. I generally like Blondie. And actually that song, I was just saying, Hanging on the Telephone, that I'm pretty sure that is a cover. At least there's another version by a band called The Nerves. And I think I heard the Nerves version first, and I'm not sure who did the cover. I think. Hang on, let me just check this. Here we go. Here's some information. So I'm offering something here. It's a song written by Jack Lee, released in '76 by the short-lived US West Coast power pop band The Nerves. In 1978, it was recorded and released as a single by American new wave band Blondie. Blondie had discovered the song via a cassette tape compilation which Jeffrey Lee Pierce had given the band. But what I've noticed is that if you go on Spotify, you can't play that song, the Nerves version, which is, again, I've talked about that before about Spotify, how there are more limitations than you think. Once you kind of go outside the box a little bit, you realize a lot of things. The other things you can't play is the 90% of the Slayer album, South of Heaven, is you can't play for some reason. Like the song South of Heaven on South of Heaven. You can't play them for some reason. There must be some kind of record company. Was that album on one particular label and they didn't get the rights or something? That doesn't make sense, does it? Because they were on American records throughout their whole career, Slayer. I don't understand why that album wouldn't be. To come outside because it's the washing machine's going in there, so I will finish off out here. The sun is setting. Maybe you can see behind those trees. This tree here in front of me, I think, is a ko-fi tree. In springtime, it's really beautiful. It has yellow flowers on it, but it blocks the sun. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. I guess it hasn't been much of a video. Really just to say that, yeah, I miss my family, especially my little son. Take it easy.